Welcome to MusicNT's Keyboard Basics, the Source episode. My name is Tash. In this episode, I'll show you how to find your way around a keyboard, including how to set it up properly, how to position your hands so it's easiest to play, and how you can use it to play rhythms and backings for vocals or in a band. Here we have a keyboard stand, power adapter, music rest, keyboard manual, chord chart. We've also got some headphones and a jack adapter. Every model of keyboard is a bit different, but there are some general things that are the same for all of them. Let's get into it. You can play a keyboard sitting down or standing up. If you're just learning how to play, it'll probably be easier if you sit rather than stand. Whether we're sitting or standing, we need our wrist to be level with the floor and positioned just above the keys. We also need to curve our fingers like this. You can play with straight fingers, but you will play stronger and quicker if you learn to curve them from the start. First off, I'll set up the keys for playing when I'm standing. To get an idea of how high the keyboard stand needs to be, I'll put out my arms as if I'm going to play and see how far off the ground this is. The stand needs to be a bit lower than where my hand is. Now I'll open the stand by pulling out this lever on the side to unlock it and set it to about the right height. I'll use my foot to keep the stand stable. That looks about right. To lock the stand into this position, I just move the lever back in. Now I can put the keyboard on the stand and see if it's the correct height. Make sure the keyboard is sitting firmly on the stand and not wobbling around. Make sure the ground is level. Yeah, that's about it. See how my wrist is level with the floor and my hands are just above the keys? Make sure you're standing straight and tall and keep your body as relaxed as you can. Playing standing up is okay when you're a rock star or playing in a band, but it really is easier to sit and play when you are starting out or you're practicing something new. So let's set the keys up for this. Firstly, I'll carefully put the keyboard on this table. Now to get a rough idea of how high the keyboard stand needs to be, I'll sit on the chair, put out my arms as if I'm going to play, and see how far off the ground this is. Okay, so the stand needs to be about this height. Let's adjust it. Now let's put the keyboard back on the stand and check it again. Thanks, Jess. Yep, that's a good height. You don't need a keyboard stool. Any small chair without arms will do. When you're sitting at the keyboard, sit straight and have both feet flat on the floor. Now we have the keyboard at the right height. We can power it up. Most keyboards can either run off electricity or battery. Batteries are great if you are playing outdoors or want to reduce the number of power cables being used on stage. Batteries go in from the bottom of the keyboard and different models need different size batteries. Remember not to leave batteries in your keyboard if you don't use them often. They can corrode or fall apart and leak acid through your keyboard, which can damage or break it. Thanks, Jess. This is the power cable or adapter for the keyboard. Keep your adapter safe. They can be hard to replace, especially if you have an older keyboard. If your power adapter looks damaged or you can see bare wires, do not use it. It plugs in here at the back. Before I turn on the power either at the wall or on the keyboard, I'm going to check the volume on the keyboard. The volume is this black dial here. See how it turns around? I need it to be set to minimum before you power the keyboard on or off, especially if you are using an amp. Otherwise, you can damage the keyboard's internal speakers. So always make sure the volume dial is turned as far as it can go to the left when switching the keyboard on or off. Now I'll turn the power on at the wall and then press the white on and off button. See how the screen on the keyboard lights up? Now I can turn the volume up. When you finish, reverse the order. Set your volume to minimum. Press the on/off button on the keyboard and then switch the power at the wall. You can now safely unplug everything. This keyboard has a sheet music rest. You slot it in here. Thanks, Jess. So, along with the power jack, there are a few other outputs at the back. The one labelled phones or output is for plugging in headphones, or if you want to run the keyboard through an amp or PA to make it sound louder. Headphones are great if you want to practice without anyone hearing you or without disturbing other people. You might need a jack adapter for your headphones. The jack called sustain is for a keyboard pedal, which makes the sound of each note last longer and can help your playing sound more even. You won't need to use a pedal unless you are wanting to play the keyboard like you would a piano. Pedals are sold separately to the keyboard. This keyboard will let you record music as you play it, save it, and then let you transfer it onto a computer. Get in touch with us at MusicNT if you want to learn more about this. For now, we'll just find our way around the keyboard without getting too fancy. A lot of people can't read music, but they still can play it. They listen carefully to what is being played, and they watch what other people do. You can do this, but it also helps if you know some basic information. So firstly, every key on the keyboard has a name. Don't freak out though, as these are in repeated patterns. Basically, notes go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and back to A. Every C on the keyboard is the first note to the left of these two black notes. Here are all the C's on the piano. Here are all the A's. Each of these 7 note names can be made higher or sharp or lower or flat. The black note just above the C is C sharp. The black note just above the F is F sharp, and so on. Notice how the C sharp is 1 note or semitone higher than the C, but 1 note or semitone lower than D. See how the C sharp note also has a D flat written on it. It's because it is also 1 note or semitone below the D. It's the same with all the other notes. F sharp can also be G flat, G sharp can also be A flat, and so on. Don't worry if this is confusing at first. Just learn the note names and where they are on the keyboard. Keyboards are great because you can play chords like you can with a guitar or bass. Chords are groups of notes that sound good together when you play them at the same time. I can play C, E, and G separately, but they also sound good when you play them together like this. You might have heard musicians say things like, "This piece is in G," or "The next chord is A minor." Just like guitars, each keyboard chord has certain notes you need to play. Learning the patterns for these means you can play a whole heap of songs. If everyone in your band or group knows chord names and shapes, then you speak the same language about your music. Here is an example of a basic chord chart for a keyboard. Following this chart, I can see that the chord C major has the notes C, E, and G in it. I can play this one chord in different ways. I can also play it in different places on the keyboard, making it higher or lower. Now let's try a C minor chord. The chart shows me it has a C, E flat, and G in it. Ask MusicNT if you would like a copy of a basic keyboard chart that gives you a stack of chords that are often used, or you can search online for one by typing in chord chart for keyboard. See these 3 white buttons here on the right? The one marked song has a whole heap of songs and exercises programmed into it. The one marked voice gives you heaps of different instrument and other sounds. The one marked style has preset rhythms and instrumental backings in it. We're now going to check out the voice and style settings. Firstly, let's try a few different sounds using the voice button. Check the guide here or the instruction manual. Find the number for the sound that you want and program it into the keyboard by pressing the black number buttons. It sets to piano at 001, which sounds like this. Let's try one of the organ sounds. The chapel organ is number 24. This sounds more like something you would hear in church. There are a whole bunch of different organ sounds. You probably won't want to use the guitar or bass sounds if you are playing in a band that has these instruments. But you might want to use a different instrument sound, like a saxophone. Or trumpet. Or put in some strings. There are also a bunch of synthesizer sounds that can be pretty cool. And if you press 198 on this keyboard, each key becomes a different drum or percussion sound. Anytime you want to go back to the original piano sound, you can press the white grand piano button, or you can type 1. Your style buttons add rhythm and can add an instrumental backing to what you are playing. It means you only need to play a few notes and the keyboard does everything else for you. The style you choose will depend on what sort of rhythm the song has. Is it a waltz going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3? Is it more of a rock beat going 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4? Or is it something different again, like gospel, country or reggae? Let's try out a few of the different styles to see what they sound like. To do this, we press the style button and then use the number buttons to choose which style we want, just like we did with the voice settings. There are heaps of style settings, so try them out until you find something that suits the song you want to play. I'll start with British rock, which is number 1. So I'll press style, then ACMP on or off. ACMP is short for accompaniment, which means the background music to a melody or tune. This button splits the sounds the keyboard can make into 2 different types. When I play down here, it sounds different to when I play higher up the keyboard. Here is the split point where the sound changes. Next, I need to press Synced Start, which puts it on standby, ready for when I start playing. All I need to do now is press the white Start Stop button when I am ready to play. Let's try a different style with a dance beat, 44 club dance. I press style 44, ACMP on or off, sync start, and then on or off. The best way to get comfortable with playing a keyboard is to try out lots of different sounds and styles, and to practice regularly. So in this video, we've looked at setting up your keyboard stand, how to switch your keyboard on and off, making sure the volume is set to minimum, the best way to sit or stand and to hold your hands when playing, a bit of music theory about notes and chord names, how to change the sound on your keyboard using the voice button, and how to set up a rhythm or instrument backing using the style button. This is just the start of what you can do with keyboards. I hope you enjoy playing and learning more about these awesome instruments.
Just the other night, I didn't mean to say the words to you. Thank you, everyone, and enjoy the rest of the show.